Hello everyone and welcome to an Explorer video. So this is gonna be my first Explorer video of this set, Dominaria United, and I'm pretty excited because there's a lot of cards that I'm gonna be adding to Mono Green Stompy. So let's take a closer look at the deck to see how the deck looks like. So this is the deck we're gonna be playing today. We're going to be playing this in best of 1, so there's some consideration went into building the deck, especially the Scavenging Ooze, for example. There's a lot of Grease Fangs probably in the format, so your deck does require some Graveyard Hate. And fortunately, Mono Green Stompy, Scavenging Ooze is already a decent card, so having it in the deck isn't going to be detrimental to the deck. But having said that, you probably already noticed that something is missing from the deck, and that is Collected Company. Where is Collected Company? So although Collected Company is a great card, I don't think we actually need it. And that's because today we're going to be testing the water whether or not Defiler of Vigor from Dominaria United is actually a card in Mono Green Stompy. So much like the other Defilers, the green version, instead of paying a singular green source from a permanent, it lets you cast it for 2 life. So if you have Elvish Mystic, Land or Elf, you can play those cards for 2 mana instead of any mana source. And what this does is when you play a green permanent, this puts a +1/+1 counters to all the creatures, including itself, which is really nice because this is a 5 mana 6/6, and on top of that, it has Trample, which means every time you cast a permanent spell, this keeps growing and you're going to be making an army. So what I'm hoping to see from this card is that once it comes down, you just win the game because opponent can't get rid of it. Also really nice is this is a 5 mana card. Nobody expects a 5 mana 6/6, for instance. So Fatal Push is useless, Bone Crusher Giant is useless, and Chandra 4 can't also deal with this card either. So I'm hoping that this is the card that really just spirals out of control once you land this card against any decks in the format. So going back to the topic, so as you can see, we have 2 copies of Defiler, we also have a copy of Vivian, and we also have 3 copies of Grey Henge, and we are also playing some spells at the same time on the 1-drop slot. So although the creature count is still high, if we play Collected Company, our creature count does go down to 27. We have 33 creatures, minus the 2 Defilers, that's 31. And then 31 minus 4, that's Collected Company. Then you're going to be playing 27 creatures total, which is, I would say, probably on the lower side. And at the same time, Collected Company doesn't really synergize too much with Defiler because Defiler requires you to cast permanents, but Collected Company, on the other hand, puts creatures onto the battlefield. And second card we're going to be playing also doesn't really synergize well with Collected Company, which is called a Kyrian Beastcaller. It's a 2 mana 2/2 that grows every time you cast a creature spell. What's going to happen is if you play the Elvish Mystic, and if your only 2-drop is the Beastcaller, for instance, so you play the Beastcaller, and on turn 3 you have 4 mana with Elvish Mystic or Land or Elf, and let's say you collect a company, then your Beastcaller is still a 2/2. It hasn't really accomplished much. So for that reason, and the fact that we're only going to be able to have 27 creatures, and on top of that we're playing Defiler of Vigor, I decided not to go with Collected Company. However, we do actually have alternate ways of going through our deck. So the solution to this problem are Augur Bottom, Vivian, and the Grey Henge. So with Augur Bottom, if you have the Coven ready, meaning you have 3 different creatures with different power, you're going to be able to play off the top of your deck, and it also lets you play any lands off the top of your deck without even having the Coven in the first place. And the Vivian Monsters Advocate is a 5 mana Planeswalker that lets you also play creature spells off the top of your deck. And lastly, we have 3 copies of Grey Henge, which lets you draw a card every time a creature comes onto the battlefield. And if you also have Vivian or Augur Bottom at the same time with the Grey Henge, then you're going to be able to go through your deck pretty fast because Augur Bottom lets you play a land off the top, Grey Henge lets you draw a card every time you play a creature. So that is going to be our solution to us not having Collected Company. And lastly, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Tailswipe. So this is another new card from Dominaria United, which I think is pretty darn good. So this is an instant speed fight spell, which is going to be much needed, especially against a Greasefang deck. The Greasefang is a combo card, and you really need to get rid of this card as soon as possible, because if you don't, they're gonna reanimate Parhelion from the graveyard to the battlefield and get hit for 13 damage. In a case where you don't have Scavenging Ooze to get rid of their Parhelion from the graveyard, then you can also rely on Tailswipe to get rid of their Greasefang before that happens. And if you do actually cast this on your turn, your creature gets +1/+1. So for example, if you have Steel Leaf Champion, and you don't want to trade against a Bone Crusher Giant, for example, because Bone Crusher Giant is a very, very popular card, then if you use Tailswipe, your Steel Leaf Champion grows to a 6/5, which survives fighting against a Bone Crusher Giant. So much like the Blizzard Brawl, it does let your creature survive a fight. That's all I got to say about the deck. Hope you guys enjoy the video so far, and we're going to be jumping into some ranked games in Best of 1 Explorer Ladder to see how the deck does. I'll also have a rep section at the end of the video to talk about the deck, and let's hop on over. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my god. This hand is beautiful. Llanowar, Steel Leaf Champion, into Grey Henge. Now we're just missing some mana. I would like some mana. Oh, perfect. Oh my god, next turn is gonna be beautiful. Goblins, okay. Okay, well, opponent decided to play a 2-mana 2/2. And here we are, playing a 2-mana 4/4. Huh? Oh, this exists in Explorer? Oh. It's actually better than I thought. Okay, that's definitely better than I thought. Attack, attack. Until the end of the turn, base power becomes 5/3. So we add 2 more power to it. 6, 11. Just Llanowar Elf. Infinite Llanowar Elf. These two have trample, and they can't block these. Actually, they can if they have mana. Okay, now they don't, so they lose. Okay. No 1-drop. You know, considering we don't really have... Might actually go like this. Because we do need 3 different creatures with different power to trigger the Augur Bottom. Going second is pretty tough. Oh my goodness. That is a card. Defiler is indeed a card. Oh no. Oh no. I just realized that I don't have 5 mana. Oh no. Okay. Okay, that didn't happen. I mean, to be fair, let's say I didn't play Lovestruck Beast. I mean, I could have actually. So... Okay, so here's where I made the mistake. I needed to play the Land Werewolf and the Lovestruck Beast instead of playing the Lovestruck Beast 1-1. Then I could play the Defiler this turn and then play the 1-1 to pump up all the army. Whew. Tough game. Tough frickin' game, man. Okay, opponent didn't attack for some reason. That's great for me. That is sweet combo. No 1-mana elves. But I see the Defiler, but... Yeah, I mean... We play 8 copies of elves. There's no reason to keep these kind of hand. Okay. I guess I have to keep it. I'm actually going to bottom this. Because if it's ooze, it's better against... If this is like a graveyard deck, then Scavenging Ooze just becomes better. the classic Thoughtseize bug. They're like, oh, they only have another one. Like, they're only on 2 lands if I take this one. They literally got... Oh, wow. So, okay, so this is basically... So they milled Parhelion. Unfortunately, even if I have Ooze, I can't do anything about it. If they have Greasefang.
When I win, you're telling me what you know about. One of your friends has to leave.
The classic. So they got Thoughtseize bugged and Removal bugged. They're like, oh, they Thoughtseize my Kazandu Mammoth, and I got it back again.
Drop it.
They got double Parhelion. Wait, what? This figure? In this economy? That was, well, I guess I didn't play around with this figure.
You won't be outsmarting me. Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Okay. I think I'll surrender here. Man, this deck really just isn't giving. We just need an elf. That's all I ask. Yeah, Vivian's kind of ambitious considering we only have 2 lands here. Unfortunately, this says cast a creature card, so Lovestruck Beast is a sorcery. Also, we lost because it's an angel deck. So how do we beat an angel deck? You know, I kind of miss Vivian. I kind of do. This would be able to create a reach creature every single turn. Man, this beast color though, like, they're growing bad. Okay. Ronus. Okay, apparently opponent doesn't play any creature, so that's good for me. I mean angels, excuse me. Interesting. Giving up creatures? Kinda wanna keep this Scavenging Ooze for potential great hand draw. Could be wrong though. Okay, opponent literally does not play. Okay, they played an angel. They played an angel. Back to 23. Attack, attack. Attack. A land. Man, this is hard. This is hard. Okay, this makes no sense, doesn't it? I guess there is a god. Opponent's playing an angel deck. They never draw an angel. That's how you beat an angel deck. Perfect hand. Mono blue spirit. Could be tough. Although opponent doesn't have a counterspell? This is on cast, right? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna play this first so that they can counter this, so I can play the Scavenging Ooze. Or not? Oh, I can pay. Oh, that kind of sucks. We might actually lose. They have a lot of spirits. That's a lot of spirits. Gotta say. I guess I should attack first. I just don't think this is gonna land, so I'm just gonna cast a Scavenging Ooze. If they have a counter spell, so be it. Any counter spells? Is this a spirit deck without any counter spells? Is that what it is? Do we have a spirit deck without any counter spells? Okay, I don't know why I did that. Give me back my Grey Henge, please. I accidentally clicked it. Like, I didn't mean to. Oh my god. Okay. Immediately punished. Okay. How much mana do I have? 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'll play it. Because I want to use the mana on this werewolf pack leader to get trample. Okay, I'll play the Scavenging Ooze so that this thing grows to a 5/5 so it doesn't get killed by the Faceless Haven. One, two, three. So I can't do that quite yet. We want my creatures to die so we can gain some life with Scavenging Ooze, but... Attack, attack, attack. I'm just gonna actually, one... We have 2 blockers. Well, actually, see. Let's see how they block our creatures. If they sacrifice their Faceless Haven onto Werewolf Pack Leader, then so be it. Two, 4, 5, 6. So we have 3 blockers. We have 4 blockers. So Faceless Haven is not a problem. The problem here is if they have... okay, so they're on full defense. Nice. Nice. This deck is nice. Looking good. So I can Elvish Mystic into Beast Caller with Tail Swipe. Is this Anvil? I think it is. Okay. Leave up a Tail Swipe. What's like the worst thing that could happen? I don't see anything. Because let's say they play Liliana next turn. I sacrifice Elvish Mystic. Okay, so actually it would have mattered, so... yeah, it would have mattered if they played Liliana, because I would need a Tail Swipe to kill their Volder and Epicure to get rid of their Liliana there. If they did it. So this is actually really nice here, because if you play Augur of Autumn, then it activates the Coven. Or I could play Ronus here. We'll attack with this. And we'll pass. And whatever they play, we'll Tail Swipe. Instant speed, death touch fight. Indestructible. Infernal Grasp. At least Augur of Autumn didn't get Infernal Grasped. Let's play the Augur of Autumn first. We might have a land on top before we play this forest. Opponent. Just like that. Double Lando. Double Lando. We'll pass. Weather light completed. Whenever a creature you control dies, put it 7 or more counters and it becomes a creature, right? Okay. This card is not good. It gets Fatal Push in the format. Like, just think about this. You finally reanimate this thing, and it's just gonna get Fatal Pushed. It takes so much work to get this going. Oh my god, we're flooding like hell. Augur bottom, what a card. You can't even crew this, right? So we're just gonna attack here. Hello, opponent. Hahaha. Sure. I'm actually surprised, like, why did they not play the Voltage Surge? That makes no sense. Now that makes no sense. Also, why didn't they use this to make an artifact? I don't know. Okay. I'm actually not gonna pay for the cost. Just gonna do it like this. Okay, well, maybe we should have had one Llanowar Elf back because of the tail swipe. Oh! It actually has more function than I thought. It scries every time a creature dies. Okay, this card is better than I thought. Okay. I thought it was just you get to the 7 counters and this becomes oh, it says only 4 or more counters. I thought it was only like you need to have counters and then this becomes a creature, but okay. This is better than I thought. Good stuff. This card is so big. So we do actually only play 20 lands total and have 4 Kazandus. So chances of us drawing more lands even after us flooding. And like this card actually carried the game, right? We would have drawn like 3 lands in a row without us doing anything. But because of this card, we got through it. We got through it pretty nicely. What a card. Like, we have some really nice cards. Which, just playing a collect a company deck would not be able to find. Okay, looks like opponent gave up. Oh my god, this Defiler. Just give everything +1/+1 counter. And this one gives trample. Because the thing is, I kind of want 4th copy of Henge so that we always have a Henge. Okay, so that is going to be the final game. So we're gonna move on to the wrap-up section. Welcome to the wrap-up section of the video. Okay, well, surprisingly, the deck did pretty well. We didn't even need Collect the Company. Because of the Augur of Autumn. We didn't get to see Vivian. Maybe Vivian is a little bit too cute, but I kind of like it as a one-of, just because we do play a lot of creatures. So we got to see it in action. Augur of Autumn was very, very good. And Defiler of Vigor. Okay. This card is a monster. If you play against a Rakdos deck, especially, how do they get rid of this? Doesn't die to Chandra, doesn't get Fatal Push, doesn't get Bone Crusher Giant. You can't even block because this has Trample. And it constantly keeps, it keeps growing. Doesn't get Heartless acted because of the counters. This thing is a monster. That's all I gotta say about this card. Ronus guarantees the Henge because it's an indestructible creature. But I would say probably Scavenging Ooze, my least favorite card in the main deck. But you're kind of forced to play it. Because looking at all the cards that we have available that can exile any green, there really isn't any. There's no really efficient one other than the Scavenging Ooze. And I'm gonna say it. I think Greasefang is a bit too fast for Explorer. Because if you go second, you have to have an answer up on your turn 2, which is ridiculous. That does kind of makes me want to go Hearse, Unlicensed Hearse. Maybe a single copy of it, but you gotta understand that if you do play Unlicensed Hearse in the deck, it makes a lot of cards worse, such as the Kyrian Beast Caller, Defiler, Vigor. Both of those cards require you to cast a creature spell. So because the Unlicensed Hearse has just no synergy with the deck, it also doesn't get hit by the Great Henge. Vivian can't cast artifacts, so even though I don't really we kind of have to play it. How do I feel about Tail Swipe? I really like it. Considering that it also gives you +1/+1, it's really nice. I do kind of want to go up on Werewolf Pack Leader as well. I also want to go up on Great Henge. I also want to go up on Ronus. There's just so many cards that I just want to go up on, but just can't find the room. So when that happens, we don't change anything, since we did really well in all the games that we've played. But anyways, that's all I got to say about the deck. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video so far. And if you did, leave a like, comment below. And I'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.